call me what you want, open invitation. I'm a human being infused with creative vibration, utilizing melodies and visual stimulation. Beats and stories get the glory, you get the relation. I get impatient like a doctor racing. Bullets coming from my soul, my body just a casing.
What is up, fam? Welcome to another episode of the Paralyzed Artist Podcast. My name's Daniel Brian Alvarez, and today I have one of the OG model homies from back in the day, one of the real ones. She's a model, influencer. Yeah. Say what's up to Cristal Aguirre is in the building.
Hey, you said it right too.
What?
The last name.
Oh, people don't get the Aguirre right?
No.
What do they say?
Aguirre.
Really? It's because I'm Mexican, right?
Yeah.
You're questioning my Mexican
Aguirre. Like, I say it like that now, but yeah, it's Aguirre. Like,
they get it so wrong that they got you saying it. Like,
yes, now I say it. It's Aguirre.
Nah, we knows. Yeah. Like I said, it's been at least maybe 6 years since we were talking about earlier, 6-7 years since
we've known each other. Yeah, it's been a long time. And I was asking you too, when was the first time that we actually met? And you said it was at a street meet.
I think I don't remember the exact date, but I remember what you were wearing. You were wearing like some jeans with a white shirt, and you had a snake on you. That was the very first time I was like, she got a snake on her.
Yeah. Okay. So see, that makes a lot of sense. I think that for sure was in like 2015. Yeah. I still had dark hair, right? It was my hair was like black.
I don't remember the
I know.
color, but
you just remember what I was wearing. Yeah. And the snake. Yeah, I know.
That looks dope.
I think that was 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
And had you been like coming out to the meets before that? Or that was like one.
No, I actually on Instagram I wanted to get into modeling. I knew that I wanted to get into modeling, but that's when Instagram was barely, starting to get into like photography and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. And I saw someone else at a meet, and I was like, oh, that's so dope. I want to go. And I got a friend, like, let's go. Like, and we ended up going to that one. I ended up looking like where she went because I saw that she was modeling, and then there was like 20 photographers behind her, and I thought that was so dope. And I was like, I definitely want to be a part of that. And yeah, I looked up where she went, and I think it was Conquer though, the one I saw, and I never made it to those. But yeah, I went to Street Meet, and
it was Street Meet?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you just randomly found it through like Instagram, like through a friend?
Yeah. I think the first one, I can't remember if the first one I went to was Conquer or Street Meet.
I know it was one of the bigger ones. It wasn't like one of the small ones.
Yeah.
I just wasn't sure which one it was, but
I think it was the Martin Depict one, because there was a Martin Depict meet that he made with Conquer, and like everybody went to the beach, and that's where like you met everybody in the photography scene.
It wasn't that time because it wasn't at the beach. It was we were right by like where the 4th Street Bridge is.
Yeah.
There's like a bar called like Villain's Tavern or Devil's Tavern.
Yeah.
We were right there on that street.
Okay, yeah, I remember. And we were even on the 6th Street Bridge.
Yeah.
Then when it was still there.
The
OG 6th Street Bridge, not the one that's the nice one now, huh?
Yeah. Damn, that literally takes me back, yo. Like going out to the whole scene has changed now. It's like nothing how it used to be.
Yeah.
I feel like we caught like a little wave there or something, like
it
creativeness.
Was good. Yeah. Oh my God, it was so cool when we all go. I was thinking too recently when I drove or we're by the 6th Street Bridge recently that we actually watched the bridge, the real one, and then they tore it down. And they made a whole new bridge. And I'm like, fuck, dude, we actually got to watch that. Mm-hmm. And we were a part of that.
We shut it down like that last night. Like
we all went up there.
Did you go? Were you there that night?
I think I went.
Last night that day.
Yeah, I went, but I didn't make it up there because everybody had gone up there, huh?
Yeah.
I didn't make it up there because the cops came and they stopped everybody. And yeah, it was crazy.
It's funny, like, talking about OGs. Like, whenever I talk like to any of the people that were going to the meets back then, like they talk about it like that, like it was dope, like it was nothing like how it is now. It's like totally different. Like, and then I'm like, what do you think that is? Like, we just caught like a wave there, or like
Yeah.
shit just goes up and down? You think it's ever gonna get like that again, or?
I don't know. I think maybe it's just because uh, at the time people were trying to get out there and be a part of each other's art.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, I think, was thinking about creating art rather than followers and
Yeah.
likes and all that shit. I feel like then we were all just out there to have fun, meet each other, talk to each other, and create some cool shit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, maybe it's different now. I think I went to one recently for a street meet, but it wasn't the same. I don't think
like the vibe is different. It's just
Yeah.
like a lot of new people. Not that there's anything wrong with new people or
Yeah.
anything, but it's just, I don't know. It just, we've like with a few people, we've tried to like pinpoint what exactly it is
Yeah.
that, like,
Does
made it
anybody
cool.
have like a
Everybody has
think?
theory. Like people say that it's like it's that a lot of new people are coming in, and like the old people are like have let it go.
Yeah.
Or
We're
that-
old people.
Not like
Literally.
old people in that
Just
sense,
kidding.
Bichos
Yeah.
viejitos. Nah, not in that sense,
Not
But,
old.
but
I'm
just
not old.
just like, I don't know, maybe we just caught a wave, and like, it was like,
We were the
it
cool
was like
people.
yeah. We the OGs.
Now they try too hard.
How did you get into like modeling and the photography scene?
Well, this was about our conversation earlier. I had first wanted to get into acting, and I wanted to do that so bad, but it just didn't end up being something that I was supported in. And so I stopped even trying to pursue that. And I was actually working at a guest store, and I got approached by a photographer, and the photographer was like, "Oh, I love your look. I'd love to shoot you sometime." And at that time, that's when Instagram was still just like posting. You post random shit on Instagram. You weren't posting it to actually put your art out there like that. So you'd have to meet people in person still and network like that. So he approached me and he was like, "Oh, I'd love to shoot you." I remember my first photo shoot ever was at downtown Disney, and it was during winter. Do you know what I'm talking about? Downtown
like
Disney?
the actual downtown Disney?
Yeah, where they have like all the stores on the outside.
Yeah.
So, and it was during winter time, so it was nice. And I did it, and I fell in love with it. I was like, modeling, acting, that kind of ties in together. I could do this, and I loved it. And I'd have to put myself out there like that, though.
Yeah.
Like I'd after he gave me all the images, I was like, all right, I'm just going to post these on Facebook and see what happens. And people were like, oh shit, like they liked it. So yeah, that's how I started. And people would message me and set up photo shoots and stuff like that.
But was that something you were kind of like always, you say that the acting, like you were always into that type thing? Like you always,
Yeah. I was into like the arts all the time. I loved music. I love music. Even now, just talking, there's certain things that you're interested in when people are talking about stuff, and then there's things that you're really not interested in. So naturally, when people are talking about music or just movies or just photography and models, stuff like that, I'm super interested in all that stuff.
For sure. Yeah, I kind of found it kind of like on accident. Like I wasn't the type of person that was like, I want to shoot, or I want to like be creative. I mean, I was creative, but not like with the camera or anything. I kind of just like stumbled into it, and I was like, this is dope. Like I want to keep doing this. And then I started meeting people, and then like started going out to more meets, and like I feel a little lucky that I found it at the time that I did, because there was like, it just seemed like there was like a movement happening at that time when I had just started. Like the meets were starting to like get bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is dope. Like I want to be part of this,
Yeah.
And I was like, and then started meeting people and then shooting on the side too. And but I tell people, like, even if you're not a photographer, even if you're not a creative person, like I always tell people, like, you should check out one of the meets. Like,
just for fun. I remember, I think one of the ones that I just can't ever forget is like a flask mob. meet.
Was it the one that was by USC that was huge?
Yes.
That was like stupid huge.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's kind of hard to. I don't think nothing tops that.
Literally like 300, 600. No, probably like 1,000 people came for that. Everybody was on the streets. The cops couldn't control. Like, it was just nuts.
Yeah, I think there was like, as far as like the people that actually went to the meetups, to the meet that day, there was, I would say, like 300 or 400 people. But what happened is that we ended up in the canvas by USC, and then all the students, all the people living in that shit started coming out like, what's happening? So at the end, there probably was like 600 people out, like in the full crowd. Yeah, like the cops like.
That was nuts.
Pushed us out to like a specific part, and yeah, that was wild. Like, it's kind of hard.
Fireworks and smoke.
Steel wool, all kind of like we were wilding.
It was good times.
Good times for sure. Like,
such good times, man.
Do you like still keep in touch like some of the people that you met?
The only one that's besides you is probably Hector. OG Heck Turtle.
A real one.
A Heck Turtle. And you know what? Recently, I have to talk about this because recently I shot with him and he told me. So he got his Instagram deleted at like 20K, right? And I was really, I saw that he got off of Instagram, but I wasn't sure why. But when he told me why, and I hope you forgive me, Hector, I love you. But because someone that was really close to him passed away, and so he needed to take a break from social media. So he lost his Instagram account and he had to start over, right? Has to start over. And he told me that he's trying to shoot with people and people don't want to fucking shoot with him anymore because he doesn't have 20,000 followers anymore. Yeah. I'm like, that's fucking bullshit. That doesn't mean it takes away from your art. That doesn't mean you're any less of a good photographer. Right. That sucks. I was like, and I had to post about it. I don't know if you saw it recently, but when I shot with him, I was like, I'm going to fucking dedicate this post to you because I think that's bullshit that people don't want to shoot with you just because you don't have 21,000 followers. It doesn't mean you're not going to get quality content. So,
but that's a really real thing.
That's how it is.
Super like, it's cool. But it happens on both sides. Like it happens with models that have like, if you're a photographer, even if you're really good and you just don't have numbers, they'll be like, nah, I'm good. I could work with someone that has, it's like, I get it. Like, it's exposure or whatever, but all you have to do is check out one or two of his pictures and like you're going to get dope pictures. Like, he's like one of the, like from the meets, he's probably one of the, like the guys that I would say like I really enjoy his work.
Yeah,
like, there's like a handful.
Some cool shit.
Yeah, there's like a handful of people, and he's one of the people that I'm like, my boy gets down.
Yeah.
Like, or I'll be like, yo, like I'll tell like if I work with somebody, I'm like, you need to work with Hector or like Rex. I will tell Rex all the time, like every time you work with Hector, you guys get dope ass shit. Like, but she's like, nah, I'm good. Rex is another model homie from the meetups.
Right here.
She's I had to
right here.
Now.
She's cool. I'd always see her. I thought she was really cool. I thought that she was like different. Everyone had their own little thing to bring to the table. I thought that was cool too, cause yeah.
One of the things that I would tell her is like, man, I wish I would have found something that I was like passionate at a young age like you did, you know. And I'm like, that's so dope, you know. Whenever I have like models on, I like to ask them for like let's say for other people that are coming into the game and trying to get into modeling, like if you had to give some advice on it, like what would be something, or like if someone would have gave you some advice at the beginning when you started, like what would you?
I feel like I had to, even when I first started, because I didn't have someone who showed me how to do things or anything like that. I would say to just get the fuck out there. Literally just stop thinking about it and do it. Go find a photographer and shoot. And that's all you have to do. You have to shoot, build your portfolio, take pictures, and just post them and put yourself out there. That's the only advice I can give, because If you're just thinking about it and wanting to do it, you're not going to do anything with it if you're not actually doing it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like take action. Don't just say that.
What about working with people though? Like, do you like when someone messages you to work with you, or you want to work? What is that like? Do you kind of like vet photographers? Do you like talk to people they've worked with? Do you do anything, any of those stuff, or you just kind of work with like?
Okay, so this is another thing too. A lot of times it's really hard to see, or I guess to really know what people's intentions are when you're starting to get into shooting and modeling. Make sure that you're not going to these photo shoots by yourself, okay? And if you are worried that this photographer has something, you know, you can always message another model. I've had that happen before too. Like if a friend of mine or someone that follows me that's a model as well she'll ask me, hey, is this photographer cool to work with? And I'll be like, yeah, he's great, you know, or you know, vice versa. You have to have each other's back with that. Because you just never know. You really don't. And then there's some weirdos out there. So just be careful. Don't go by yourself if you do. And yeah, you do research. If you really feel weird about it, do some research, look into things. And then another thing that you want to pay attention to is their work. Like, do you even like their photography? Is it a little, you know, like everyone has their own style. So, and I'm very picky with photographers. So I like to look at the work and how they do their editing and how they have their lighting and all that stuff. So you can find what you really like and what fits your style, you know, so.
For sure.
Yeah.
What about like some of your like best experiences working with people? Like sometimes there's people that like to like get guidance. There's some people that just like to do their own thing. Like,
yeah. I feel like whenever a photographer has to tell me how to pose, I don't have a good time because I feel like I'm doing something wrong or I'm not posing the way I'm supposed to. Sometimes good direction is good, right? Like, you know, suck it in here or do this or a little different because that's good. But sometimes photographers can overdo it. Sometimes if the model is good and she knows what she's doing, she knows her angles, usually it's better to just let her do her thing.
Yeah.
And I've had the best experiences when it's just free and fun. And it's always been like that. Like when I go to shoots, if the photographer is just like, lets me do whatever I want and I'm, you know, vibing to music or something, I'm having the best time and the shots still come out good, you know? So yeah, I've had good experiences in that sense where, yeah, just let me be me. And
they let you vibe out.
Yeah, which is always the thing. I'm always either playing music or dancing or just laughing. It's about having fun, you know?
Yeah, that's the way that I approach my shoots. I'm like, I just want to have fun, you know, like enjoy the process, enjoy working with the person, not take anything too seriously, you know, but still be professional, obviously, you know?
Yeah.
And on the opposite side of that, what about, have you had any like negative experiences or anything where you don't have to name names or anything?
I'm about to put everybody on the spot right now. I'm just kidding. Bad experience. I feel like most of my bad experiences were when I first started. It's always like that when you're starting something new, right? You have to, what do people say? You have to earn your stripes, right? You have to work with some weird photographers that when you're first starting out, and then there's like a little breaking point or something, unless you're very lucky that you find someone that's good right off the bat. But I didn't have that luxury. I had to figure it out on my own. So I've had some weird situations, yes. Luckily, I haven't been by myself when I first started. There was situations where the photographer would try to tell me, no, take some more clothes off or something like that. And I'm just like, no, that's not gonna happen. You know, it's been stuff like that, but it's never too bad. It was never too bad, so I'm thankful for that.
I mean, I like to say that for the most part, like especially the people that go to the meets and stuff, like for the most part, most people are cool, you know. Like
Yeah.
there are those random, like you'll get unlucky with a few random, like
Yeah.
stray ones, but for the most part,
Yeah.
or from what I know personally,
Yeah.
is like most of the people in the community are pretty dope.
Yeah.
And again, like we say,
That's
you could
true,
always
thanks.
ask, you know, people that people have worked with and that
Mhm.
type thing. So, um, yeah, but it's like everything else, right?
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get some good, some bad, and like
That's how it is.
yeah, you just gotta.
The balance of life. You take the good with the bad.
hmm Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I've been following you for a while, so I've seen like some of your journey, and you've gotten into like some of the more recent stuff that you've gotten into is like well, working out. You've been it's been a while, right?
The working out?
Like, yeah,
Oh
like,
yeah, that's
you've been
for I don't know, like over 10 years.
really
Yeah.
like active
At
like
the gym? Yeah. Over 10 years for sure.
so that's something you've like also like been into like
Yeah, that's definitely been part of my lifestyle for since I was little. I've always been
Mhm.
active. I was like a cheerleader when I was little. I did cross country in middle school. Then
Oh.
in high school I did cheer again, but I didn't like practicing. I didn't I didn't like going over the routines over and
Yeah.
over again. I actually loved the conditioning part of
Really?
cheer. Yeah, when I'd get in trouble or something if I was acting up at practice,
Mhm.
coach would be like, "Crystal, take a lap." I'd be like, "All right, peace out.
Vamos.
I want to run," because I
Yeah.
wanted to run. I love running, but yeah, it's always been. I've always loved to exercise. It's a
So
part of me.
so getting motivation to like get up and do the whole gym thing is not like really an issue for you or
Oh my God, no, that's not true. That's definitely not true. I definitely needed to push sometimes or just get myself to the gym and the rest just happens. You gotta just go through the motions. A lot of the times you don't really have the motivation.
what's some of the stuff that gets you over that? Like, all right, like I'm gonna take a break today. Like what gets you past like when you're feeling like that?
Damn, I guess just moving. Just moving. If I sit too long in my thoughts about anything, if I overthink too much about, oh, should I go to the gym today? Nah, like that to me is like, all right, let's move. Let's get some clothes on really quick, do whatever I gotta do, and get to the gym. It's just moving, not overthinking it. It's just taking action.
Just getting the process
Yeah.
started.
Yeah, or if you just get to the gym, because that happens too. When you get to the gym, you sit in your car for like 10 minutes, 15 minutes to muster up the courage to get the fuck out the car and go inside of the gym. That happens to me as well sometimes.
Mhm.
But yeah, I'll just like, all right, we're here. Let's just go in there, even if it's a shitty workout. You're not always gonna have a great workout, especially if you're just starting out. Like even when I take long breaks, if it's a week or two and you go back, the first week of the workouts suck. Then after that first week you've been going often, then you start having really good workouts. Like all of those workouts, the first ones always suck. They suck.
It's so funny because I have this interesting relationship with like working out because I've always like I was into sports since from like 6th grade forward, and I was pretty athletic.
Yeah.
But I was always small, so the only way that I would like gain weight is when I would like start lifting weights and
That's
doing the
right.
gym thing.
Yeah.
But every time that I started like lifting weights seriously, like something would happen to me. Like the first time, I had been lifting for maybe like 4 months, and when I say lifting, I mean like a few times a week,
Yeah.
eating like a lot of like protein the whole night,
Yeah.
protein shakes, the whole,
Yeah.
and like 4 months into that, I broke my hand. I broke my hand and I had to like stop. And I was like, damn, I got it. And then like a few years passed, and then again same thing. Like I was all right. I want to like gain some weight. I want to get a little bigger.
Yeah.
Again, I got into the whole process. 3 or 4 months into that is when I got shot.
Oh my.
So now I'm like, I'm just not gonna work out, yo. Like it's just not meant to be, yo. Like that's one of the things that I'm like, man, I'm like this year I'm gonna go to the gym, but I don't know, for whatever reason I lag it.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I also like do a lot of shit, So
Yeah.
I'm like, how do people do it, yo? Like,
Yeah.
how do they motivate themselves to like get out there like consistently, you know.
It just becomes part of your day. You know, sometimes I hear people say that they don't feel good if they don't go to the gym. And I agree with that 100%. Sometimes if I'm not at the gym or I don't go for a couple of days, I'm like, fuck, man, I have to go to the gym. Like, staying active. If you're an active person already, you know, you need those endorphins, that natural dopamine.
See, even that isn't like like one of the things that happened to me. Like I said, I was always into sports, and like before my injury, I would like go to the park and get a like pickup basketball game like once a week, or I was like boxing with my friends, or I would like play football once in a while. And then after my injury, like for whatever, like I wasn't doing any of that stuff anymore, right? And I had like this like, it wasn't so much like an anger, but I had like something going on with me, and I was like, why am I feeling this way? And that's what it is. I never realized how much of like a stress release that was for me, like being active and all that, you know. I'm like, that's crazy. And then now, like now that I know that, like I'm like, okay, I need to get into something, bro. Like, you know, so I need to like get on a but I've been laying it.
But it's okay. I mean, you have different outlets for that now, right? You do your artwork now. It's not just working out. Everybody finds something that works for them. I mean, sometimes I used to find that in alcohol, right? And just you have to find what's different and what's going to work for you, that's going to be that stress relief. A healthy way. A healthy stress relief.
Cause there's some bad ones, and I'm like in the comedy scene, man. Like there's so much like drinking. Like I've never been a person that's into drinking a lot, but like I find myself like I'm drinking a little too much. Cause you get like free drinks. People are like, "You're funny. Like here's a drink," and I'm like, "Fuck it, I'll take it, bro." I'm like, okay, I need to chill
only
off that,
imagine.
I need to chill.
See,
off
but
that.
at least you're aware of that. You know, sometimes people would be like, "Oh hell yeah," and then just like doing it and they never realize it.
Well, that's one of the good things about me, that I've never been like the type of person that gets like addicted to stuff, or I don't get like hooked on stuff easily. So I'm like safe, but I
have an addictive personality.
Really?
Yes. And oh my gosh, all the times, like even throughout those meets and stuff, I was always drinking. Oh my gosh.
Your birthday's coming up, right?
In July. It's in July, my birthday.
Didn't we do like the Valentine's thing? Remember that Valentine? I thought that was like for your birthday.
The Valentine's
Yeah,
thing?
remember when you rented that spot was that for Valentine's Day?
No.
You rented the spot in Venice?
I just did that to celebrate everything that was going on in my life at the time.
I was over here like, it's your birthday.
I just did it to be dumb and blow money and buy alcohol and have some friends over and just, you know, fuck around and shoot.
You want to tell them that story, you remember?
Oh my God, when
your boy got wasted.
He scared the shit out of me. I thought you were gone. Okay, my heart dropped. I can't remember too much because I was shit-faced too, but I think I like ran to you. You were on your chair, right? I was in your chair?
Yeah, there was like I had. Well, I let me
I'm
defend myself. Let me defend myself and say like, so that was like 1 year after the pandemic had started. So I hadn't gone out for a whole year.
Yeah.
And then you were like, I'm gonna have a shoot. I'm gonna have a shoot, like shoot through whatever. And I was like, cool.
Nothing but Don Julio.
And then I took a bottle. I had a bottle of tequila too. So when I got there, you guys were like, shots. Like literally within the first hour, I had drank like 5 shots. And I hadn't drank for like a whole year. That was like the first time I had gone out, period.
God, dude.
And tell me why they found me asleep in the bathroom.
He was like this on his chair, like this. In the bathroom. I had to I was knocking on the door like, Daddy, are you okay? Because he was in there for a long time.
Oh, shit.
Now I remember I walk in there and he's just like this. I was like, Daddy, are you okay?
That shit was awful.
I thought he was gone. I was kind of scared. I was like.
Passed out.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Yeah,
I got really scared.
Yeah, that shit was funny. Good times.
Oh
Good times.
But with that being said, though, I am going to be 11 months sober.
Congrats. What
I
you know
never.
what?
I
Because
never.
yeah, I do remember like even before that you had mentioned like I love drinking, you know, and like what was like the catalyst that brought about like that change
Oh
in
my
your
god.
life?
I even just. I feel like now I've gotten to a point where when I say that I'm sober, it's I believe it now. Before I would say it and I'm like, fuck, I can't believe that I'm actually sober. But what ended up happening, I think it was just a series of events. Nothing good. Whatever happened when I was drinking, wasn't a very good person when I was drinking. I was just sick and tired of my own shit. I was just like, okay, if I don't do this, no one's going to do it for me. And I got into like a really bad car accident, and I feel like that was God telling me, all right, I'm going to scare her enough so she knows that she needs to do some shit. Because if I don't scare her, she's not going to change. Like, she's not going to. And that's how I was doing it. Even though I realized that I had a problem, I was like, oh, maybe I could drink in moderation. But I can't. If I have one,
You need to go.
that's it. Like, that's it. And everywhere I'd go, that's all I would think about. Where's the alcohol? All right, we're going to my family's house. Where's the shots? Where is the tequila? Where's the wine? Whatever. And that's where you would find me all the time.
I mean, that's a little bit in like in our culture a little bit. That you feel like that was a little bit of an influence too, like in the like Latino and Mexican culture. That's like
Everywhere,
we're like
just
échate una
society.
chelita, compa. You know that whole the whole
Yeah,
you get to the party and the first thing they offer you is a beer. Like that's in our
it's in
culture.
society. Anywhere you go socially,
Mm-hmm.
everyone's drinking. You either have a beer. You can't go to breakfast without having mimosas anymore. Like everything promotes alcohol. If you're having any social gathering, there's just always alcohol.
Yeah,
So it was very very hard.
yeah. So
It
it
was
would
so
like
hard.
you had to like really work at like
Oh yeah,
not drinking.
even
Like it was a whole
now,
process.
even to this day, I don't think that people realize that it's really difficult. I have to mentally prepare wherever I go, especially the places that I feel like I'm gonna be triggered the most, and that's usually when I'm with my family. Because like you said, Latinos, onta la cerveza, onta la tequila, and they bring out the shots, and I miss that. I miss that, and sometimes I feel like I'm missing out. You know,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
get FOMO, fear
Yeah,
of
yeah.
missing out, where I'm just like, fuck, I'm not being a part of the family. I'm not being a part, and that's not true.
Yeah.
It's not true.
No, even that aspect of it in like in the Latin community is like, you quitter.
yeah,
Why'd you
or they
quit,
talk
bro?
shit.
Like why you come then if you ain't gonna drink? That type like.
Dude, my dad still asks me, or he actually stopped recently. I love him for that. Because he did it for a long time after I stopped drinking. He'd always ask me if I want a beer.
Really?
Every time, and I'm just like, it felt like he was like, get it in there. Do you want a beer? I'm like, no,
Yeah, that's.
stop asking me. But he
No,
eventually
yeah.
got it.
I can see how it could be way harder when it, in a way, it's kind of like a part of your identity, and it's been for a long time
Yeah.
to let that go. You know?
We choose to make it a part of our identity because that's how I believe that's how that is, because I had to change that about myself.
Mm-hmm.
I had to describe myself as a person who does not drink anymore. So I changed that. I felt like I was always like, oh yeah, this is who I am. This is what I do. That's a part of me. And it's not.
So you just mentally were like, I'm not going to be that person anymore.
It's been a lot of work.
Yeah.
It still is. And I thought that I was going to close in on a year of sobriety, but it's not. It's 11 months. I stopped drinking for Lent, which is March 2nd. It starts on March 2nd. I stopped drinking for God, right? And then it eventually came that I stopped drinking for myself. And then it became bigger than me. It became to sharing my story with people and showing them that they can do it. that they can do it too.
Yeah.
You know, it's not easy, but if people really want to make a change in their life, you can do it.
For sure. And that's with everything, not just drinking. You know,
Yeah.
in general, like if you really want to make a change, you can. It's on you, you know.
Yes.
But most people don't got that in them, you know. Like,
no. It takes
Yeah.
a long time. It took me a long time to actually stop.
really?
And yeah.
Yeah, I've taken breaks here and there, and I have
Yeah.
like little incidents where I'm like, maybe I should stop drinking. You know, like, we'll go
It's always
hella-
the bad things, right?
Yeah, I
Oh
just
my
actually talk about one of those incidents in like my last podcast. I talk about because I'm kind of known for drinking Fireball.
Oh my god, you like Fireball?
And
Ugh.
I had an
I
incident.
never liked that.
You know, I just like it because I don't like alcohol in general. But
Yeah.
with that, it's like candy. You just like
my
take one or two shots, and you're
God.
like, everybody gives me shit for that. You're like, what the? You like some Fireball?
Fireball?
Oh, chino, dog. You're like, I'm like, I like what I like, man.
I liked whiskey.
What's it?
Whiskey was, oh my gosh, Jameson.
That Jameson.
Everywhere I went. Let me get Jameson on the rocks. And people would look at me like, what the? Yeah, give me Jameson on the rocks. That's what I would always drink all the time.
Yeah, nah, I don't like the taste of the alcohol.
Yeah.
So I'm just like,
Fireball. That's nuts.
I mean, it's whiskey, but it's like candy whiskey. You know? Yeah. I was gonna say, like, I'm a people watcher. Like, if I'm around people, like I tend to like watch people and how they are and what they do, and like from the jump, from like the very first times I met you and was around you, like you've always been like a really dope and like not giving, but you kind of like, there's people that treat people a certain way.
Yeah.
Like, and I've always seen you like treat everybody like the same, everybody, you know, like. And that's one of the like dope things that I always like was like, damn, fucking Cristal's cool as fuck, you know. She could be all like conceited, but she's not, you know.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that throughout your like especially like in the last few years, like you've made like mental health and like those things like a priority about like talking about it. And where does that like come from, like the like motivation to like talk about? Because you know how like mental health is kind of like stigmatized, and like you're willing to like put yourself out there and just be like a genuine person.
Yeah.
Like, where does that like do you feel like that's another like important message that you have for people? Because I feel like you consistently try to like get people to like a stable place, or like just to find like a
I feel like, oh man, thank you for that, by the way. I pride myself in that, to be honest. I feel like people think when they meet me that I'm going to be a certain way, and I'm completely different from what they think. I just think about everybody else. I always think about how a lot of times I didn't have someone there for me when I needed it, especially when it came to mental health, because I wasn't understood. Coming from a Latina household, that's something that you don't talk about. You just don't talk about it. It's embarrassing, right? And no tienes nada. No, ¿de qué estás hablando? Depresión ni que nada, right? But I feel like somehow I just always wanted to be myself and talk about the things that I loved, the things that I cared about. And initially I couldn't do that because I was a model, right? I had to just post pictures of what people wanted to see. But I felt like that's just so surface level. I wanted to get deeper. I wanted to share the deeper parts of me, because that's what I was really passionate about. I was really passionate about inspiring people and motivating them to be better and do better. So I was like, how can I do this? How can I talk about this? And it just goes back to just actually putting yourself out there and just doing and talking about the things that you're really passionate about.
Yeah.
And it just, that's really where it comes from. It always just comes from my heart. It just, everything that I'm feeling, if I'm talking about something, or if I'm feeling a certain way that day, or if I feel like shit, especially if I feel like shit, I want to share that because people don't share that enough on social media. Everybody wants to put all of their highlights, all of the good stuff that's going on in their life and stuff that's not even real.
Yeah.
Right? And people want to relate to you. People want to relate to the shit that you're struggling with because I'm just like everybody else.
Yeah.
I'm a person too. We all bleed red, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody is the same. I don't ever treat anybody differently. My parents taught me that.
Yeah.
My parents always they taught me that they're amazing people. They treat everybody the same way too, and they taught me that. So
yeah, that's what we need more of that in the world.
Yeah,
There's so
and-
much like going on. There's like all these crazy like shootings and all this.
yeah,
crazy
all
shit, and
this
we need more-
negative stuff, right? You gotta be a little bit of light there in the darkness once in a while, and people who want to do that, just fucking do it. People need you. We need you.
Like, did you ever have a point where you kind of like needed to reach out for help?
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah. Man, there's been different times, and it was always when I was drinking.
really,
When I was drinking, I would have the worst suicidal thoughts. And I don't think people really knew how severe it was because I hid it very well.
mm-hmm.
And I think the only one who kind of knew the severity of it was him right there. Like one day I had to call the hotline, the suicidal hotline, because I was just having the worst. I was even hungover that day. I was hungover, huh? I was hungover that day. And usually after drinking, I have really bad anxiety. And that day, I was just like, I had like a bottle of Advil pills that were Advil PM. And I just wanted to take all of them, right? And the lady on the phone, she was just like talking to me, asking me questions. How do you feel? She was just listening to me. And I was just crying hysterically.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him that I was just like not in a really good place, and I didn't even know how to say it to him. I don't know. How did I even tell you that I wanted to kill myself? That's all I said. Yeah.
Just like that.
And then he drove all the way to where I was at, and yeah, he just came and stood with me. But it's I think that was the only time. The only time.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, the point of that is like, if you were to like follow your social media, right?
Yeah.
Like, and just like, and not know anything about you, you would think like that you have like best life, that everything's like perfect.
That's what I'm saying.
That's why like I asked now, like, cause I know you personally.
Yeah.
So and it's like, yeah, like we're all human, you know, and it's okay to ask for help. You know,
Yeah.
it's okay to like talk to a homie if you need to, or
Yeah.
like reach out to whoever. You know, it's like
Yeah.
we all have our bad days. You know.
Yes.
Like,
I saw, okay, so I have to say this because this post really resonated with me and it stuck with me. I saw a post of this little kid on a horse and then talking to a fox. And the little kid asked the fox, "What is the bravest thing you've ever done?" And the fox thinks for a minute and he says, "Ask for help." And I was just like, wow, that's so true. Because people are so prideful
mm-hmm.
or don't want to look dumb or don't want to be a burden to other people, just to even ask, "Hey, do you mind listening to me right now? I just need an ear."
Yeah.
You know, just reach out to people, talk about it. Someone that you trust, someone that's really gonna hear you and validate whatever it is that you're feeling, because sometimes that's all you need is just someone to listen to you.
For sure.
So
Yeah.
but yeah, it's
Don't be scared to reach out.
yeah. That's why I'm so passionate about talking about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Yeah, that's
just-
why I wanted to like. I made it a point to write it down
Yeah.
and like.
And at first it was weird, okay, because this has been a long time. I've been talking about mental health for a very long time. It also really happened because of Avicii. He's a DJ. EDM? No, Avicii. He's like blonde.
I think I'm not really into it, but I've
He's
heard.
huge.
Yeah, I've
He's
heard.
big.
Yeah.
So Avicii, after he passed, like I was like, shit, man, I want to talk about this. I'm gonna be embarrassed for a little bit. People might talk shit or say dumb things, and they did for a little bit. People didn't like that I was talking about mental health for a little bit. They were like, "What the fuck is she talking about?" Or I wouldn't get any reactions to it. But then slowly, more people started dying.
Yeah.
More people, especially celebrities, right? People would started killing themselves, and things started happening, and people wanted to talk about it more. And I was like, fuck, now I'm able to really, really dive into this. And
Yeah.
Or
Yeah, no.
I lied. It wasn't Avicii. It was actually Robin Williams.
Robin Williams.
Yes.
Yeah. That
Robin
was a tough
Williams.
one. Yeah.
And
we had a
Avicii.
few. Like we're filming on January 26th on the 3-year anniversary of Kobe and Gigi and the rest of the people that were on the helicopter. And
Yeah.
it's crazy. You that's the other thing I remember. You have one of like my like therapy pieces with you.
Wow.
There was 2 deaths that really like got to me like heavy.
Yeah.
Like Kobe was one of them, and then Nipsey was the other. And I made like these paintings.
Yeah.
That I was just like, fuck, I need to paint this. Like, I need to get this shit out, you know? And I was like, but I don't, like, I can't put a price on this, you know? And I was just like, fuck it. It just so happened that you were talking about it on the live, and I was like, this shit was meant to be, yo. I'm just gonna give it to you, you know?
So special. That piece is so special to me. Like, thank you so much. That's the only thing I have up in my room now, and that's the only thing that I brought with me. I have other pieces, like even a piece that I painted, but I was like, I don't want this with me. I was like, Kobe's coming with me. It's all like Kobe is, man. So I thank you for that piece. I'll
Photoshop
that, man. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's special,
man.
For sure.
It sucks that I had to paint it for the circumstances or whatever, but. Yeah, it's like sometimes I just need to get it out.
And I don't know. Sometimes I feel like he's not really gone, you know. But like I on Twitter, I see a lot of his videos or see like replays of old plays or when they won the championship when he did like a 3-pointer or something. You know, things come up, and I'm like, man. So we were so lucky to watch him.
Yeah. I was we met up at a studio earlier, so on my way over there I was driving, and on the radio they were just on Power 106 they were doing like a tell me your Kobe story.
Oh my god.
So what, like they were just in general, like what's your like biggest memory, so what's your like the most memorable thing that you like can think of when you think of Kobe?
The memorable thing of Kobe.
Like what stands out? I'll give you mine if you want to go first.
Yeah, you go first.
For me, the big thing that stands in my mind was like watching him play that last game when he dropped 60.
Yes.
I was just like, he's the one, son. He is the one. Like he dropped 60 on you on the day he's leaving the league, you know? 20 years in the league. Body fucking breaking all the way down and still like, I was like, Kobe's different. Like, it's crazy though, because like I was a fan, but I wasn't like, I didn't know a lot of like the little details that came out after he passed, you know, like a lot of like the stories that people would say of like his work and all that, you know. I mean, obviously I knew like Mama mentality and that whole, but there was like another layer that I was kind of just like, damn, like he really was out here like affecting mad amounts of people.
Hero.
Yeah, we lost a good one.
Yeah.
Like especially like LA people understand, you know, like
God,
people that are
yes. So mine was when he tore his Achilles that game.
Well,
oh my God. I was like, I hope it's nothing bad. And then when he said that he knew and he still did the free throws.
Yeah.
And he walked off of the court.
Yeah. Whereas like most guys have to get like
cry,
carried off and
like
shit.
they'd fall and cry and like get carried out. Like this man tore his fucking Achilles and still shot his free throws and walked off the court.
No.
And then he recovered and played again.
like at the end of his career, basically.
Yeah.
Like when his body was like, bro, I think I'm done, bro. Like that's like that's what I think it is. Like that was like his body literally telling him like, I think I'm done, bro. Like you
Yeah.
put in enough work.
The mental strength that this man had, man. There was just like nothing like it. Nothing like it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy, man.
Rest in peace, Kobe, man. We miss you. Every day.
Yeah, fucking Kobe.
Everybody, right?
Yeah.
Nobody says Jordan.
Yeah.
Nobody says that. Everybody says Kobe.
I after he had retired, I used to say retired when I used to shoot.
I stopped watching basketball when he retired.
Oh, really?
He was the reason I would watch basketball. I watched games here and there. I tried. I was like, man, it's just not the same without seeing Kobe on the court.
Yeah.
It's just not. He was just so fun to watch.
Yeah, he was I started following him because of Allen Iverson, because they came in the same draft class.
Yeah,
I was a really big Allen Iverson fan.
Oh my god! Let me tell you, I actually liked Allen Iverson more than Kobe when I first got into basketball.
Really?
Yes. And my dad did not like that. Whenever I'd go, because I would play basketball with my dad and his coworkers and stuff, I would play with them.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys would ask me, "Oh, who's your favorite basketball player?" And I would say Iverson. They would be so mad. But I don't know. And then just started watching, Kobe play more, and there's just something about him, and
Yeah.
just won me over.
It's here, like you'll randomly catch like a Lakers game when you're in LA. It's like you couldn't escape it in a way. But AI was my dude though for when he was playing in the league. He was like little man, like
he was so cool.
Yeah, he has his own
His own
style,
style.
his own lane. Yeah, for sure.
He was so cool. He was fun to watch too.
Yeah. If you Jordan said it, or was it Kobe? It might have been Kobe that said that the league is lucky that he was so small. Like if he had been bigger,
right?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
a threat for sure.
For a little dude. Like 2001 playoff, I was rooting for Allen Iverson when the Lakers beat them.
Yeah.
When they won that first game and then lost 4 in a row after. I was like, let's go, Allen. Yeah, everybody would talk shit to me because he's Sixers,
Yeah,
and I was like, it's not the Sixers, it's Allen Iverson.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah.
So you kind of made a transition from with the modeling to you said you started with acting. You tried it?
Yeah, I tried. Yeah.
And then just modeling took over?
Yeah. I think, the modeling took over, but eventually, I saw what was possible with social media. And then the goal wasn't anymore to be famous and become an actress, my goal was to be myself. To be
yourself
me.
And get paid for it.
Exactly. I'd always say that when people would always tell me oh, what do you want to do? I was like, I just want to be me and get paid. That's it.
That's the goal, no?
Right?
That's
with anyone.
Yeah.
So I've accomplished that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
How are you connect? You have a following on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
How are you what are avenues you're taking to monetize and build your brand?
Well, talk about this. Well, I made an OnlyFans, and the OnlyFans took off.
Really?
And I was like, why the fuck didn't I do this sooner? What was I doing? And I was able to quit my job and just do that. And now that's giving me the opportunity to actually do what I want to do and really focus on building the brand that I want to build. Right? And So that's really where it's at. But I want to eventually not have that be the only source of income. Eventually, right, you want to have a YouTube channel, or that's where your income's coming from, right? Or from brand deals or something. And but it all takes work. It takes work. So it's a lot. It's a lot. So, but yeah, that's where it's
I when I'm gonna have people on the podcast, I do my research, right?
Yeah.
So for research purposes, I checked out the OnlyFans, and it's like, yeah, you do like elegant, like, you know, like professional, pictures. Like, y'all can check it out. Link it in.
Right? Link in bio.
Link in the bio.
Hashtag link in bio.
Like I said, I checked it out, and it's like I had like a idea of what your OnlyFans would look like, and it was kind of like what I had in mind.
Yeah.
So it's like, I like to ask like people that like have on, like, do you consider yourself a sex worker though?
No.
From doing, because I feel like there's a separation.
Yeah.
For sure.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have their opinions about it. I don't know. I wouldn't consider myself that, to be honest. I still identify as a model. I just say that I do more sexy stuff, and that's it. That's how I keep it, and that's how I identify as. I don't think about it. I used to feel guilty for a long time for doing it.
Really?
Because when I started, I was in a different place mentally. I was drinking a lot. And then I started thinking, like, shit, what about my future? What's going to happen, you know? But I'm just so, like, I feel like I'm walking in my purpose now, that I'm just not even worried about it. That I'm just like, okay, this is what I'm doing right now, and I need to take advantage of the opportunity that I have right now, and actually figure out what I'm gonna do with it. And I just want to make a difference, you know. That I'm not really thinking about obviously the money and stuff like that, but my mind is in helping people and making a difference that way. And I still do that, and I stand by that, and that's what I do every day on my Instagram, regardless. And I always did it even before I started the OnlyFans. I still always did that. Yeah. That's always been a part of me, but it's just that because of OnlyFans, like, people think different, you know. It is what it is. I have to just take it. Yeah. So
I asked because I do feel like there is a separation. Like, obviously there are like people that are like legit doing kind of like porn on OnlyFans, but then there's like people that are just doing kind of like model work kind of thing. So I asked, like, because some people are like, no, I consider myself a model. I just happen to have OnlyFans, and then some are like, hell yeah, I'm a sex worker. I put it, you know. Yeah. I'm like, both of them. Yeah. You good, you know? Do you like? Yeah. But did you get like backlash? You said a little bit, like.
Oh yeah. When I first did it, yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, people were upset, disappointed. I'd get messages of people down, like, you really, like, I liked you, and I, like, people were unfollowing me for that reason, like, literally telling me why they unfollowed me and why they don't, you know. And like I said, it was just something I had to make a decision, and I took a risk, and decisions come with risks all the time. And at first, like I said, I would regret it, but I don't. It's giving me so much, and I'm just grateful for it, to be honest. I can't, like, there's no reason I should feel guilty for it. And it's like, I'm not out here hurting anybody. And like, get your money, like.
For sure, I joke around with the boys. I'm about to start this Only Wheels, my boy. We about to we about to get this. Yeah. Yeah.
So it's, but it's it's there. It's there, and I feel like I've never really hid it. It's there, right? At first, I wouldn't really post it as much because I just know that I have, like, family and stuff too that I'm just kind of like shit. But
yeah, it's your life. You know,
it's
like,
me.
the way what I tell is like, man, you could literally be gone tomorrow. So
Yeah,
like, you could, you know.
I'm just like, I'm just my faith is in God and in just everything that I'm doing, and I know that my heart is always like on good intentions no matter what. And yeah, that's that. And as long as I believe that about myself, and regardless of what anybody else thinks about me or has to say about me, it is what it is. And I've learned to accept that. And it took me a very long time because it would affect me.
Right.
Yeah, it would affect me. I would be like, shit, like, I don't want to show this because this person this. And I'm just like, man, you know what? It is what it is. Like,
yeah,
it
like,
is.
You know who you are as a person.
Yeah,
You know, like,
and if they don't like it, they don't have to. You know, they don't have to like me. They don't. I'm not. Not everybody's gonna like you. You know.
Yeah.
So, I'm cool with that. 100%.
Yeah. Yeah, as long as like you're good.
Yeah.
That's all that matters. You know, like
Yeah.
everybody else. You ain't paying my bills.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah. I would. You have a partner.
Yes.
And like, was there issues? Was there is there fights? Is there when it comes to that?
No.
Huh?
He is 100% supportive, and actually, he helps me with it.
Yeah.
So, he's amazing.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Got a real one. Got a real one.
So lucky.
Yeah, we had, like I said, we had a show earlier. Man, I put him mad to work, bro. He just came to fucking chill, and I was over here like, can you fucking put down a background and all this stuff? I'm like, damn. I was like, I gotta buy you tacos or something, bro. Like, yeah.
No, yeah, he helps me with it.
That's what's up.
So, he's great. He's great.
Yeah, we've been talking for a little bit. Like, I always ask people, like, before we get off, like, is there anything you want to put out there in the world, anything you want to say, like, to people before we get off? And obviously, we're not drop your, like, IG, and so people can find you. Where can people find you on the social medias?
Man, you probably just search Cristal Aguirre and everything comes up there if you want to look for, like, anything specific, Instagram, whatever. But I guess the only thing that I want to leave everyone with is, if you're going through something, to talk to someone. Sometimes doing it by yourself is not the answer, and having the people that actually love you help you is the best thing. And if you want to just change, just do it. That's it. Just do it.
Just get out there and do it.
Yeah. There's nothing else to it. I mean, that's fucking right.
I mean,
oh my God.
Like,
Yeah.
I understand, like, we're all human, you know, and we all deal with things differently. But at the end of the day, yeah, man, like, just get out there and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll link your, like, social media and stuff so people can find you if they want to find you.
Yes.
Appreciate you coming out.
Thank you, Danny.
Having a conversation and shooting.
A special day today.
We got it done. We fucking shot. We got the podcast.
Yeah.
We good.
On Kobe's day. Gigi and everyone else too. It's crazy. We did it.
It don't feel like 3 years. It literally 3 years.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it just
flew
time
by.
flies. Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming through.
Danny.
Thanks for both of you guys coming through and hanging out.
Yeah.
And we out.
Pacing in my studio, just coming up with dapper bars to spit in crucial situations when I play the rapper's part. Heard I got a denim heart and lyricism in my jeans. Cut a track down, leave it bald head like Mr. Clean. Spit it mean, a record fiend. I school you niggas, call me Dean. I'm always speechless, never seen. Stay on the chase for minty green. It's local how these niggas say they ballin', but they broke though. You call me what you want, open invitation. I'm a human being infused with creative vibration, utilizing melodies and visual stimulation. Beats Beats and stories get the glory, you get the relation. I get impatient like a doctor racing. Bullets coming from my soul, my body just a casing. Pacing in my studio, just coming up with dapper bars to spit in crucial situations when I play the rapper's part. Heard I got a denim heart and lyricism in my jeans. Cut a track down, leave it bald head like Mr. Clean. Spit it mean, a record fiend. I school you niggas, call me Dean. I'm always speechless, never seen. Stay on the chase for minty green. It's local how these niggas say they ballin', but they broke though.